What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F1 24 My Team Career Mode video. Today, it's a race I've been dreading. It's the Monaco Grand Prix. Not a sprint, obviously, just a straight up Grand Prix, so qualifying on the Saturday is the main thing for this weekend. Now, we're going to finally get some more resource point generation put in the aero facility. And I'm actually going to switch back the engine components that I had for the last race. I'm going to put them back into my first engine. Or rather, I'm going to put the first components from my first engine back in. As you don't really need power through Monaco. You just got to get as close to the walls as you dare. And hope that you don't hit them at all. But here we go, Monaco 2024. This is season 1, round 8. Beautiful street circuit, very historical, but the barriers are very close, so if you don't watch out, you could just take yourself out of qualifying or out of the race, whichever one you're in. It's a very dangerous circuit, but very rewarding if you get it just right. Now, 80% of you are not currently subscribed, so if you enjoy these videos and you want to stay up to date, please do subscribe. Now in the background we're just adjusting the setup, which I got the setup from VSE, which is Virtual Setup Engineer. If you haven't heard of it before and you're wondering where you can get some good setups, these are some really good setups. You might have to adjust them slightly, but they do actually have an AI bot that will help you narrow down your setup to your liking and your driving style. Just head on over to Alex Gillen and you'll find the video there for it. Now into the first corner, braking just underneath that big advertising board, tipping the car in, and then back on the power as you go up the hill, burning the battery, and just tip it in. You've got to be really patient here as it kind of tightens up on you a little bit, and then flicks right just over this little bump, which will upset the car slightly, and then is down towards the very, very slow first gear hairpin, which I mount the hairpin a little bit too much. I bottomed out, and that caused me to go a little bit deeper than I wanted to. But now out into the tunnel, again activating the battery and just putting as much power down as I dare, braking hard now into this very tricky little section there. The barriers are very close on the inside. You've got to make sure not to tag any wheel, otherwise the wheel will no longer be a wheel. It will be something else. It'll be gone, not your wheel. Last couple of corners now. Been struggling with this corner all weekend as I lock up a little bit into the first part, and now almost hitting the outside barriers. I tried to get on the power too early, and a lap full of mistakes. P7 for now, but obviously that's not going to improve at all. We're going to be right down at the bottom, I imagine. And yeah, there's a few laps still waiting to happen, but we are dead last by a little while in there. So Piastri with a shocker, 2 seconds off the pace. Can only assume he had issues during his lap as well. Maybe some traffic that just wasn't getting out of the way, such as Monaco. Very hard to overtake, which is why qualifying is so important. So we're going to go back out onto the track for our second lap in Q1. Hopefully we can put it together a little bit better in this lap, and hopefully you'll see some green deltas up in the top right. We're a little bit lower down on the delta already. We've lost a few tenths, possibly from not activating the battery too much on the start finish straight. Now through here again, you can see the back end wanting to step out. That's where we hit the wall in the last lap, but not this time. We do gain a little bit of time back. Hopefully through this hairpin we'll be able to pull some more time back, as we do by about a tenth and a half on our delta there. And hopefully again we'll be able to just keep improving throughout the lap. The lap will be a bit more, the track rather, will be a bit more rubbered in at this point in qualifying. I'm just going to tip it in again, cut the corner as much as you dare without invalidating your lap. Now 2 tenths up as we head into the very fast chicane of the swimming pool section And again, another fast chicane. Cut that as much as you dare. You don't want to get underfloor damage there. Trying not to lock up, but we do. Again, we're losing time hand over fist here. Don't get on the throttle too happy, and we pick up half a second more than that. Almost 7/10 just out of that last corner. We're going to go for another lap straight away. We did save a bit of battery just for this, and we're already 3/10 up after the first corner. 4/10 up now. We're gaining time everywhere as we get a little bit more dialed into Monaco. A little bit more comfortable with the car and the setup. And you can just see we're just gaining a bit of time everywhere we go. Just a little bit. Again, mounting that kind of high curb of the hairpin relatively nicely there. I think we were going a little bit too quick, so we definitely were into that corner as we went a bit deep. And we've lost out on the time. All the time we gained in the first corner in that first sector of the track are now gone, evaporated before our very eyes. We go very deep and invalidate, and that's a lovely bit of damage to the front wing, as we were just overdriving the car massively there. And yeah, not ideal. We're going to have to box at the end of this lap, and we do get the wing fixed in the pits. Obviously I cut that out because it's just sitting in the pits. And this is going to be possibly the final lap as this car's coming out of the pit lane. Hopefully we don't get blocked by Leclerc or anyone who's coming out just behind him. No, we don't. Back up the hill now, 2/10 gained again. Very similar to our previous lap, but not as good as our previous lap. Maybe we could just hold it together a bit more and actually bank on the time that we've gained here so far. Again, little bit too squealy on the tires as we go through that very slow section of the track. Again, coming out now towards the tunnel, we do have, I think it's an Aston Martin potentially of Lance Stroll ahead of us. Hopefully he does not get in the way here, because now we're breaking down. We're getting very close to the back of Lance Stroll. He's kind of in the way. He is in the way. He's not moving out of the way. We have to go up the inside, get back to the racing line, really open up the car as much as we can there, mount the curbs, brake, turn right, left, very quick, all the time coming at you, does Monaco. And yeah, again, we've picked up some more time. So coming through the last few corners, Nico Hülkenberg is out of the session, and that bad exit out of the last corner means we have a negative delta, so we have to push again. There's Nico Hülkenberg there, distracts us slightly as the back end steps out. We're 1/10.5 up, 2/10 up. Again, very similar to the last lap, which we did not improve on overall. But all the time is there. We just need to put the lap together now. It's crunch time. 14 seconds left of the session. We're losing time as we clip the barrier. We just kiss it a bit with our tyres. We're really overdriving now. There's no way around it. Monaco lives rent-free in my head. Qualifying's complete. Fernando Alonso sets the fastest lap of the session, and we're going to brake just after the 100-meter board here again. Try and get the car tipped in nicely. We do get a really good exit this time. That gives us about 0.3 of a second in our back pocket. Again, every single time we go round this track, we get better and better. A purple middle sector, apparently. Can only assume that is because of the way we've been, well, fiddling with the track limits, we'll say. We've just been pushing them to their very limit. Now we've almost got a second in hand. 9/10 as we cross the line. Where does that put us? P14. Saved at the end of qualifying of Q1 with the daring track limits around Monaco, and even giving the walls a little kiss just to be sure. Tipping it into turn 1 for our first lap of Q2. We do kiss the wall on the outside. Actually, this is our second lap. First lap must have been nothing to write home about. Because now we're going very deep, almost touching the outside wall there. And again, keeping the car straight. We've used a lot of our battery, obviously, on the previous lap that we must have done. And we don't have much left, but there must have been a horrendous mistake somewhere, as we almost spin the car, just trying to put the power down. Again, just overdriving the car here. Possibly frustration around the time, the skill, the talent. Basically, it's my own ability to drive this track is just not very high at all. But we're trying our best. trying too hard, I think, is the key here. And we're just going to hopefully put a little bit of a lap together, maybe get something out of these last corners. Potentially there's a massive lock up here as we almost spin the car, and we're very close to our previous lap time as we almost hit the inside wall. We do pick up a little bit of time, but it's fading now as we don't have the battery, and it's only P12 still. So the last lap was nothing to write home about. This one, nothing too special, but we are not quite last in Q2, which is quite surprising. Here we go, again trying our luck for the third time, fourth time even. There must have been another terrible lap in here. Most likely just another little warm-up lap, just to dial in 2.5 tenths up going into this kind of corner. We slowed down a little bit too much, I think, for that one. Really try and put the power down on the exit though, and that gains us a few hundredths there. And we're just going to tip it in nicely. Just pretend you're on a school drive around the hairpin. Very nice. Yeah, enjoying the sights. And now back to Formula 1 as we put the power down before we go in towards the tunnel. We're a 10.5 up. We're in P15 at the moment. Albon is just ahead of us, but I think he might have us beat. Ocon goes a little bit faster than us, clearly. Piastri takes the first kind of lap. Then, yeah, Norris comes in and just obliterates his teammate's lap again. So there's always a good fight at the top. We're not quite there just yet, but we're going to mount the curbs. We do get underfloor damage this time. Maybe we're going to get some time back as we go a little bit deep. And that is it for qualifying. There's no recovering, overdriving, not really dialed in, not comfortable, but trying our best and ending up with a damaged wing. P16 on the grid for Sunday's Monaco Grand Prix.
Formula 1 returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo casino that first opened in 1863. And of course a certain road race first held in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1 mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than inches from the race-ending barriers. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Albon, Ocon, Brown, Sargent, Bottas, Joe, Stroll, the owner driver, Hülkenberg, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
If we want to achieve a points finish like last race, you're going to need to push for positions early on. Let's go for it. Good luck.
Indeed, we will. But, as is Monaco, going long often helps you. You can kind of overcut some drivers, potentially. And if there's a safety car, which there's a high likelihood at Monaco, with the barriers in such close proximity to the racing line, and braking points and turning in points, it's very tricky indeed. But here we go. P15 on the road, all the lights are on. Now they're out as we go racing in Monaco. Everybody else around us is on medium, so we're going to try not to get swarmed here. So we're looking to go down the inside of Alex Albon ahead of us. We do cut the corner a little bit just to get through cleanly. We let him back through though, because we don't want an illegal overtake. And now we're just going to slide up the inside, try and squeeze him as much to the inside as we dare. Get the power down. We do take the position eventually as we dive bomb Daniel Ricciardo in the Visa Cash App RB. And now we're going to try and sneak in between and get a couple more positions as we're up the inside of Tsunoda, Ricciardo's teammate, but we can't do anything there. And now Ocon is just next to us as he clouts the wall a little bit and bounces into the side of us just as we go through the tunnel. We did kind of under fuel ever so slightly for this race, purely expecting a safety car or some drama, and as it's hard to overtake, you can just hold people up and really just, well, take in the sights of the beautiful marina. But while you're doing that, you can hold people up, save a bit of fuel as well, and still keep the position. So we managed to sort out our kind of lockups for the most part for the race. We've been doing a bit better in the first lap. No big issues with that. And now DRS is activated. We should really try and get in 1 second of Tsunoda, or within that DRS of young Yuki. And hopefully we can do that. He is on hard tyres, just like we are. Now the AI, they don't struggle with tyre warm-up in the same way that we do. So at the moment, for the first lap or so, we do have cold tyres, as you can see us wiggling our back end. Sounds weird, but wiggling our back end out around the hairpin. And as Mark says, there's a lot of wear on the engine. I knew that. I put this engine in. Not myself, but I told people to put it in. And yeah, it's that constant battle between just putting the power down, braking on time, making sure the turn-in is good. You can see we are outside of DRS, and Ocon must have been having a bit of a battle with Ricciardo, because they have also dropped out of DRS, which is pretty crucial, I would say, at Monaco, especially to kind of keep up with faster cars. But if you're battling, you're going to lose touch with those in front. And over the next few laps, we're on lap 5 now. They've lost some time. I'm sort of in no man's land really here, as now we're on lap 12, just letting the laps tick away here. We're not catching Tsunoda. He's kind of running away from us. But we're also running away from Ocon and Ricciardo, as that was a huge moment, as we were kind of coming out of the extremely fast left-right sort of chicane, and people are boxing. Leclerc and Hamilton.
Hamilton is stopping now.
There you go, he's in the pits. You can see them coming out. Are we going to beat them to the punch here? We do. Get into turn 1. There's Leclerc just ahead. Hamilton is next to us, but we do get just ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who's boxed for fresh hards. But what I was mentioning before is how hard it is to overtake at Monaco, because the circuit is really slim. The racing line is not that at all. Whatever I just did, I think I just went to park. But anyway, because it's such a thin racing line, there's not really that much opportunity for overtaking. Even if you're in a much faster car, there's not much you can do. You kind of have to wait for the person ahead of you to box or DNF. It's a very fine art, really, overtaking at Monaco. If it can be done, incredible. And it can be done. It's just rare, which is why qualifying is so important. And not going deep is even more important, as I went horrendously deep there. Because now Tsunoda is boxing. Do we get the jump on Tsunoda? We absolutely should. There he is, leaving the pit lane. And now we've got a lovely train of faster cars behind us, which I love the idea of being ahead of the Mercedes, but it's not something we get to say we can do all that often, as one sniff as Hamilton comes just up the inside trying to get position, but we've got the inside for the next corner. There's no way he's ever going to make this work, but he tries to hang it around the outside, just not enough there, as he actually hits the back of us and lurches us forward into the corner ever so slightly. Now there's a brief yellow flag. I can only assume it was due to the speed or lack of speed that Hamilton and Russell had going side by side through the hairpin. So we're holding 2 Mercedes back right now from getting anywhere near us. We've lost more than 15 seconds to Leclerc, so Hamilton's already cost himself almost a pit stop to Leclerc at this point in the race, just purely because we're in the way. There's nothing he can do. He can't drive through us. I mean, he could, but his car wouldn't survive. Now, lap 17 of 27. Russell is all over the back of us here, and right now we do lock up as we go into that kind of chicane there. The sort of quick left-right as Russell was kind of perched on our rear wheel, and the safety car has been deployed. So a rear lockup, thanks to tyre wear and skill, or lack of skill, and just nowhere to go because I couldn't get the car turned. There was Russell right behind us, and nothing we could do, nothing they could do, because they were obviously stuck behind me. But that gifts us a little bit of a free pit stop, and actually puts us on the back of everybody else. Now everybody else is on the hard compound tyre. They will have started on the mediums, gone to hards, and now we're on fresh soft tyres for the next 10 laps. Now we're out ahead of Ricciardo, which is P12 for us. We passed the safety car, we've saved our fuel, and we're on the back of Piastri. Again, it's on hard tyres, on a track where cornering is everything. We should have really warm tyres. Yeah, we do. And the AI don't struggle with tyre warm-up, but if they did, they would be easy pickings for us. Now we're just going to stay as close as we can to Piastri and hopefully get a good exit in some capacity, but awkwardly the restart came when we were halfway through a corner, and obviously you don't want to accelerate hard when your wheel is turned so much because you'll just spin the back end out. And because of the amount of grip we have now compared to the hards we were running before the pit stop phase, we actually have more grip than we're used to. So it's taking time actually to get used to the amount of grip that we actually have, as we do send it down the inside of Piastri. A little bit of tyre banging and everything you can imagine there as we try and keep it side by side through the last corner. I don't know how we both survived. That was outrageous. But now as we get going again, we now have DRS active, but we're way behind Tsunoda and Gasly. So lap 22 now, as we do touch the wall a little bit there. Thankfully it's just wheel to barrier and not front wing, as we almost spin due to a rear lockup again. But now we're almost on the back of Tsunoda. He's right there. Such is the pace advantage that we have now. Obviously Tsunoda can't go any faster. If there's battling up ahead, he can't do anything about it. Just going to find out if we can do a little dive bomb down here at the end of the tunnel on Tsunoda, and we can, as we're kind of side by side through that section. He did cut the corner a little bit. We're going to just send it down the inside of the next corner. Very fast left-hander, as we managed to make it through there. And now we're ahead of both Visa Cash App RBs. We're in the points, and we have the hard runners of Hamilton and Pierre Gasly just in front of us. Hopefully we can make up some ground to get back on their tail in this first sector. 3 laps to go, starting this lap, and well, 4 laps to go including this one. And as I say that, we cut to lap 25. So lap 25, lap 26 and lap 27 to make something work on the 2 cars ahead. We are in P10, we are in the points. Tsunoda is nowhere behind us. We have potential in Monaco to walk away with some points, but it all depends on what we can do against Gasly and Hamilton. Now, earlier in the race, we were a bit mean to Hamilton because he just boxed and we held him behind us for many laps, just going around, and I can't help but feel like we're getting the same treatment. We're in the same boat as Gasly. We want to be past Hamilton here. You can see how close we can get to Gasly around every corner. Look at that, we're practically pushing the Alpine around the final couple of corners of Monaco. But then we just can't do anything about it. There's nothing we can really do. We're trying our best, we're using our battery, we're trying to use all of the grip that these tyres can offer. They are obviously falling off slightly, especially in terms of the tyre wear that we've got on them now. 10 laps into being used, which is a long way around Monaco. But yeah, there's just nothing we can do. We're just stuck. And at this time, Tsunoda's caught back up, along with Ricciardo. We've almost relinked this chain to where we left off after the safety car restart. And you can see we've got 30% tyre wear on the front left, 20% on the front right, 27 on the rear left, and 26 on the rear right. The hard tyres will probably have half of that, if anything, but it is the last lap. There's only one real braking zone left to go, and there's no room to make a dive. So we're going to come out of the last corner in Monaco, our first race as a team at Monaco, and we come home with P10.
And
Great
that's the
result.
End of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Great result. Obviously we lucked out massively with the safety car, which was caused by us. Not maliciously, just a rear lock-up and then nowhere to go.
Lando Norris, take a bow. At last, a winner in Formula One.
Well, another race victory today. You could clearly see they're driving out there with very little pressure. You know they have the performance. They know they've got the car under them as well. And this has done no harm, of course, for their championship chances.
As the winners make their way up to the podium, one can only imagine the celebrations that will take place at McLaren tonight. Congratulations to everyone on the team, securing the win and proving that they're a force to be reckoned with out on the track.
Indeed they are. McLaren taking the top spot again. Lando Norris is doing phenomenal in this season. Can't help but feel like there's going to be a battle brewing between Red Bull, McLaren, and obviously Ferrari, who have been Constructors' Championship leaders so far in this career mode. But there we go. Fernando Alonso getting onto the podium as well for Aston Martin.
After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Indeed, all the excitement is exactly the word I was going to use. Dramatic race, but Norris comes out on top, followed by Verstappen, Alonso, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Russell, Hamilton, Gasly, ourselves in 10th, Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, Esteban Ocon, Alexander Albon, Logan Sargent, Zhou Guan Yu, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, Otmar, Hülkenberg and Magnussen. Now driver standings, we are very close. Kind of looking at this 10th spot here. Obviously Stroll could be a bit higher than that, but there is a very tight race sort of behind as the points paying positions come rarely for us at the moment. In the constructor standings, Ferrari on top, followed by McLaren, Red Bull. We're hovering, hopefully looking to take that 6th spot there. Again, the fight is very big for that. There's a lot of teams involved, and yeah, that is pretty much it. Highlights will be coming now for you, and yeah, great race, very fun, very frustrating as well to drive, because just when you start to feel like you're at one with the track, something crops up, a mistake, whatever it is, a little lock up, and you panic, overdrive the car from there, and yeah, there's just no recovering really. You've got to get into that rhythm, really set your own pace, and just try and pray that that pace is enough to keep the other cars at bay and make up some ground, as we did so well off the start, I have to say. Especially this small dive here into the hairpin when everyone was going very civilized one by one. We just sent it down the inside, and that was fantastic to see. And yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to leave that like. And I said it earlier, I'll say it again. There's only 20% of the viewers that are actually subscribed, which is actually an amazing amount. And I love everyone for that. But if you're not subscribed, just click on the big red subscribe button. And I will be eternally grateful. But that's it. Monaco is done. Canada is next week's episode, round 9 of this season. It's going to be coming next week. I actually recorded that last night, and I'm recording this voiceover today when the video goes up, so hopefully it does go up on time, but I'm not going to comment for future me. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see anything in particular, maybe we need to start thinking about teammate, because Otmir, in real life, sensational. In the game, they've absolutely not done him justice, I have to say. But I guess it could be his rating for if he was to drive an actual Formula 1 car, which, again, I've not seen him drive in real life, so could be true. But let me know in the comments below who you want to see as a potential teammate. We'll get some ideas in. But that's it, and I'll catch you guys in Canada next week.